Promotional consideration brought to you by...
Hi there, I'm Brian Finlay. I've been working in the animation industry for over 20 years. Come join me as we explore the process of creating an animated cartoon. We'll meet some amazing people along the way, right here on Drawn to It, Behind the Screens. Hey, welcome to Drawn to It Behind the Screens. I'm so excited to have you here. My name's Brian Finlay, and I've been working in animation for about 20 years, a little bit over 20 years actually. And during that time, I've learned and I've worked in most of the different processes of animation. I've worked in story writing, I've worked in background design and painting and character design and storyboards and rough animation. I've even done cleanup and I've even done compositing. So we're going to explore that over the next 7 episodes. And from that, hopefully you'll gain a little more understanding of how much work and effort goes into your favorite cartoons. Today is about story. My story began with 2 newspaper articles. One had to do with another artist who got hired by Disney. The other had to do with an opportunity that me, as a resident of a small province on eastern Canada in New Brunswick, never thought I would get. But I did, and here's how it turned out. Animation. What is it? How do you become an animator? Well, animation by definition is drawing the same drawing over and over again, a little bit different each time, and that helps create the illusion of life. It's very mind-boggling. It's tedious, it's stressful, it requires a great deal of skill, and most people would say it's an insane art form. And a lot of us have wanted to do it since we were little tiny kids. Today we're going back to where it all started for me, MBCC Miramichi, New Brunswick. Now we're going to check in with the students there, and we're going to see how the program has changed over the past 20 plus years since I attended. And I'm happy to say we're going to sit down with Ricky Knowles. Ricky has been teaching the program for the past couple years. They are so lucky to have him. So in 1997, I'd been out of high school for about a year or so, maybe a year and a half, and barely graduated, by the way. And I had to decide, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Now, an article comes out in the newspaper featuring a local New Brunswick artist named Ricky Knowles. And the article is all about how he has been hired by Disney. And that really struck me. I was so excited because that, to me, that was just showing there was hope. Somebody from a small province on the east coast of Canada going to work for Disney, I mean, you don't hear about that kind of stuff. Now, right around that same time, MBCC Miramichi sends out an article in the paper saying, guess what? We're going to open up our own 2D animation program. So I got my horrible portfolio together and I applied, I got in, and my journey to becoming an animator began. And I owe it all to MBCC Miramichi.
Being able to have this kind of a career where I study animation, I pass on what I learn, to students, and I keep connected, even though we're in a tiny little niche. I still keep in touch with people in the industry, and I have students from all over the world that come here, and so we keep connected, and I just find it really rewarding.
What do you think a student who attends an animation course, like how do they benefit from taking a course at a college level versus trying to learn on their own at home through YouTube or whatever?
Oh, it's the guided experience. You know, you can definitely do things on your own too, and you know, but it's about sharing ideas and having somebody that can help to pass on their experience. You know, there's lots of things that I struggle with too, and you know, we're always looking for ways to overcome, you know, things that we might have difficulty with. And when you get together with other students that have the same goals that you have, you're tapping into not only an instructor in that experience, but you're in that studio type environment.
Yeah, I agree. I found for myself as a student, what I learned in terms of animation skills really didn't kick in until after college, but the importance of who I met, who I worked with as like fellow students, would benefit me through my career. It's very funny to be like 20 plus years out and you're emailing a fellow student who has a job opportunity for you. Colleges now, because you and I both went to Sheridan, we were on paper and drawing on paper and stuff. And just shortly after my term at Sheridan, they switched everything to the digital tools. How important do you think the traditional techniques are and using them with the digital tools?
Oh, having a solid traditional foundation is the key, I think, to becoming a good animator. Knowing how to draw really well and being able to apply that digitally is you know, that's tricky business. So like drawing in your sketchbooks and that sort of business really helps. Toon Boom offers some really great tools that allows you to simulate the experience of animating on paper using a paperless tool. So I'm quite impressed with the ability to flip. In order to animate well, you need to have the ability to act and you put that all together. And so having the tools that are available to you is one thing, but when you're working with people in the classroom and being able to do action analysis live,
Yeah.
that's all really important.
Why did we choose this? Because it's maddening.
I love it.
I know.
I think life is challenging in general.
Yeah.
But you know, I feel very fortunate to be able to, you know, get up and have the opportunity to work on something that requires us to study life.
So yes, Ricky, all of that technology is super cool, and doing animation is super cool. It's a passion. You get into it because you love it. But animation can only exist if we have a story to tell. And we need to get to that point today. Do not underestimate the value of brainstorming. This is where you sit around and you just come up with ideas. The more ideas, the better. And this process is most enjoyable in a group of people where you can feed off of each other's energy. Today, I'm by myself, so this process becomes more of an inner monologue in my own mind of ideas. What if aliens were made of Martians? A kung fu pigeon saves Santa. Earthworms go to Mars. A bear wants to be Bob Ross. They're watching me. Yeah, bears. Also, if your writing isn't the best, like me, then draw sketches of your story ideas. Anything goes. There is a sort of formula to how a lot of stories are put together. Oftentimes, it's represented by a chart that looks just like this. Exposition, conflict, and then we move on to the rising action, then the climax, then the falling action, And finally, the resolution. I know, boring, right? That's why I failed English twice. None of this stuff ever made sense to me until I got into animation. We're gonna start to write our story for the animated short, A Good Day to Draw, starring Barry the Bear. Let's begin with our outline. Since our main character is a bear, it just makes sense to put him in a wilderness environment. So for our outline, let's just make a note here, outline. We'll go ahead and we'll write down wilderness environment. Now we need Barry the Bear to be doing something pertinent to what this TV show is all about. Let's have him being creative. So he'll be sitting there drawing. So he's sitting and drawing a picture. Now we need a conflict. Something has to happen to make this a little bit interesting. So let's have his pencil break. So his pencil breaks, and that can be the start of our rising action. Further to that, let's have another interruption happen where maybe he hears something in the woods. Maybe there's people around camping. He hears something, or maybe he smells something, like the people are barbecuing. Maybe he gets a big whiff of that. So let's put down in our outline, he smells some people. Great. Where there's people, people mean stuff, right? And Barry the Bear, he is an old hat at people camping around his area, and he knows people leave stuff. So maybe he gets excited about the idea of people having stuff. Maybe they have pencils. So he might have a dialogue line of something like, people have pencils. So let's have him have a dialogue line. People have pencils. He's gonna want to go investigate. So he goes to investigate the people, and just the fact that he's a bear showing up to where these people are, I mean, it just makes sense that they're gonna freak out. They're gonna go crazy, right? A bear shows up, bear. So we'll put down that he scares the people. Barry is a very nice bear, so the fact that people are screaming is probably going to scare him. So he's going to want to get out of there. So we will have him run away. So he'll run away, and he will end up back where he began, at his drawing table. And this can be an opportunity for a quick little sight gag. Maybe as he's running away, we can show him with like puffy cheeks or something to maybe insinuate that he took a bite of food or something. But when he gets back to his drawing table, he in fact will, I don't know, maybe spits out or he sticks out his tongue, and there's a brand new pencil on his tongue, which was the whole reason why he went to investigate anyway. So he will end up with a new pencil. And since he has a new pencil, he can go back to his drawings. So that's going to be the basic outline of our story. And now that we have this outline, we can go ahead and we can come up with our script format. After all of the ideas have been tossed around, then the best ideas will rise to the top, and then you can really begin to construct your story. That's quite the journey, going from your brainstorming process to your script process, finalizing your script, and now we're ready to go into the next stages of the animation pipeline. And that's coming up right here on Drawn to It behind the screen.